If responsiveness is your value flex, we need to talk. Because if the thing you're most proud about with your MSP is how fast you respond to tickets, you're probably building your business around the wrong outcome. Fast replies feel good. They feel productive. They feel like proof you're working hard. But speed without impact is just motion. And motion, it's not value. Let's be honest. The MSP industry is addicted to responsiveness because it's the safest thing to sell. It's visible, it's measurable, and you can make it look impressive on a slide deck. You can show response times, SLAs, and other types of dashboards. And if you're insecure about your value, responsiveness is a great crutch because you can always point to activity. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If your clients are constantly opening tickets, something upstream is broken. And if your value proposition is, we respond fast, all you're really saying is, things break a lot, but don't worry, we'll be there. That's not leadership. That's coping. Years ago, when I was a director of IT of a hospital, we were handling hundreds of tickets a month, and I hated every single one of them. Not because my team couldn't handle the work, but because every ticket was an interruption to nurses, clinicians, physicians. It was just an overall interruption to the business of patient care. So instead of asking, how do we respond faster? We asked a different question. How do we make this stop happening? We standardized equipment. We enforced patching and reboots. We removed admin access. We fixed the things that caused the tickets in the first place. And it worked. Ticket volumes plummeted, systems stabilized, the environment got quiet, and that's when leadership got nervous. So every month I get to sit down with leadership to discuss our IT department. And in this situation, they didn't say, great job, Craig. They said, well, you have 3 technical staff, but tickets are going down. Are you overstaffed? Because in their world, tickets equaled effort. Effort equaled value. Value justified headcounts. So when tickets disappeared, the assumption wasn't excellence, it was redundancy. We literally had to create tickets for proactive work just to prove we were doing something. And that moment changed how I see IT forever. Because I realized something. If you don't control the narrative, volume becomes the metric. And volume is a terrible metric for mature IT. Fast forward to the MSP world, and I see the same thing everywhere. MSPs bragging about response time, ticket flows. They're building their identity around urgency, but very few are talking about ticket elimination. And even fewer are teaching their clients why fewer tickets is the goal. So what happens? You do a great job. Tickets drop. The environment stabilizes, and instead of appreciation, you get silence, or worse, you get questioned. Well, nothing ever breaks. What exactly are we paying you for? That's not a client problem. That's a communication problem. Your job is not to respond to tickets. Your job is to reduce the need for tickets. Tickets are a tax on productivity. They're interruptions. They pull people out of revenue-generating work. So when MSPs optimize for responsiveness instead of prevention, they're optimizing for disruption. That's ass backwards. If responsiveness isn't your main value, what is? Design, standards, prevention, stability? Ask yourself this. How many of your tickets are repeat issues? How many come from outdated hardware you're afraid to enforce and replacement on? How many exist because you allowed inconsistencies in the environment? If tickets are high, that's not a staffing problem. That's a standard problem. Now, let's be clear. Responsiveness matters, but it's a baseline expectation. It's not a differentiator. Like cleanliness in a restaurant, no one praises it, but everyone notices when it's missing. Fast response keeps you credible. Stability is what keeps you retained. If responsiveness is the headline of your offer, you're competing with every other MSP on earth. Here's the shift most MSPs refuse to make. Stop proving value through activity and start proving value through outcomes. This means showing what you've prevented, explaining why tickets are lower, teaching clients that silence is success. If you don't do this, low ticket volumes become a threat instead of a win, and you're subconsciously keeping environments noisy just to feel useful. That's a dangerous place to build a business from. The real flex isn't about how fast you respond. The real flex is when your clients don't think about IT anymore and trust that it's being handled. When their people stop complaining, when projects stop stalling, when chaos quietly disappears, that's not reactive IT. That's leadership. So if responsiveness is your value flex, we really do need to talk, because speed is easy, stability is earned. Build an MSP that reduces interruptions, not one that lives off them. And judge your own success not by how many tickets you close, but by how few you need in the first place. That's how real MSPs scale. That's how burnout drops. And that's how you stop competing on noise. And if this episode hits close to home, good. That's usually where the work is. If you want to go deeper into this mindset, check out my books, The High Performance MSP and Profit by Time. Both are available on Amazon. They break down how to build an MSP around outcomes, standards, and leadership, not chaos and urgency. And if you need help actually implementing this shift, you can learn more about my coaching and advisory work at craigwillard.com. As always, thanks for listening. See you next time.